Hey everyone, today you can see I am with Makayla and I've been meaning to film this video for a really long time. I just haven't gotten around to it. She got sick and I couldn't do it while she was sick. So, I just wanted to mention, sorry I didn't have a video up Friday. We've run into some problems with the grading survey, so we've been trying to work through that and get that all sorted out. But anyways, let's get on to the video. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about her and her condition and basically what she understands in life and that type of thing. So I guess we'll just start out with what she has, and her condition is called lissencephaly. I've said it many times on my channel, but it's lissencephaly type 1 or Miller-Dieker syndrome. I don't call it Miller-Dieker syndrome. I don't like the sound of it. And lissencephaly is basically what she has. And I know there's Miller-Dieker lissencephaly, there's cobblestone lissencephaly, and then there's another one which is the most severe, I believe. And then cobblestone is like the second, and hers is the least severe. So I'll just want to kind of go into depth about her condition, what it causes, and her thought process and that type of thing. So I just want to start off with genetically, what is the condition? So lissencephaly is caused by a missing chromosome, and it's actually 17p13.3, and she is actually missing bits and pieces of 4 other chromosomes. When we went through for genetic testing, when we found out about her condition, they told us that those bits and pieces of 4 other chromosomes, they don't actually know what it causes, the specific causes of those. So they're just basically additions to what she has. However, we don't know the severity of those because basically her condition is just the lissencephaly. So because this is a genetic disorder, it is involved with the genes. It can be genetic, passed down through parents. However, in our case, in Makayla's case, we did genetic testing, Kyle and I, and we did find that neither of us have any part of this condition, and it was basically a fluke thing that happened, and she was just meant to be that way. So we take it as is, and she's just perfect the way she is. So now moving on to physical of this condition, where you start to see different things that look abnormal. And obviously the first thing I'm going to be talking about you can't see, but it is her brain. Her brain is not like yours and I's. It is smooth, mainly smooth, and it doesn't have a lot of the folds and grooves in the brain. It's just mainly smooth, and she's missing, I believe, 2 layers that make up the bumps and crevices in her brain. So basically those 2 layers that she is missing, from what we've heard from the doctors, are the higher learning intelligence of the brain, and I'll kind of touch on that in a little bit about what that means. But yeah, so that's the first physical difference with Makayla. Now, a lot of children with lissencephaly will have a lot of facial deformities. However, we believe that Makayla doesn't. The main thing that we kind of can tell is their eyes can be fairly wide apart. Now, I have, I think, close eyes together. Kyle's kind of iffy, but hers are a little bit wider apart, but I don't think it's even that severe. And then there's other things like her nose and chin and lips and stuff like that, which we feel like she got pretty good facial genes, so we're lucky with that one. She's just a beautiful kid. So the next thing physically that you will be able to see, and not in this video probably, but she does have seizures, which I will also get into in a little bit, but they are caused by her brain development. And of course, having the seizures and her condition cause developmental delay. So obviously she is not like a normal person, and she can't walk, talk, those type of things. Now, other things that children with lissencephaly have problems with is breathing and feeding. Their organs usually have defects, and with Makayla, we've been pretty lucky with her organs. All her organs work correctly. There is one little defect in her heart. She has a little hole in her heart, and when we actually got an ultrasound on her heart way back in the day, like 8-9 years ago, they told us that actually a lot of adults and people have the same condition, and they kind of go through life without knowing about it, and it doesn't really cause any problems. So we've never actually really had to check up on that or be concerned with that. It's always something that we had mentioned to hospitals if she was to go in, so that they are aware of it. However, it's never really caused an issue. So as for breathing and feeding, obviously she does have a G-tube, and we have been feeding by G-tube since she was 2 years old. Just after her second birthday, she got aspiration pneumonia, and that is when we transitioned to an NG tube and a G tube later on. So she did very, very well eating by mouth up until 2 years, and most children with lissencephaly actually only go a few months breastfeeding, and then they're put on a tube feeding system, and some children actually pass at birth or just a few months in. So we've been very, very lucky in that sense. As for her breathing causes trouble basically when she gets sick. Other than that, she does destat when she is sleeping, and that is just part of her condition, and we do supplement with oxygen, as you can see. However, on her normal days when she isn't sick, we do try and get her off of that oxygen so that the oxygen basically just doesn't keep her alive. I will have a video linked above talking about her oxygen more in depth, because I won't get into it in this video. So the other thing I wanted to talk quickly about the physical aspect is that the life expectancy of children with lissencephaly definitely decreases. We have heard through doctors that, you know, it doesn't affect their life expectancy. However, we've done the research and we've done the reading on it, and we've heard that children like Makayla will live up to 10 years old. There are cases, of course, that live on way past that to 30 years and such. However, the average life expectancy for Makayla is about 10 years, and she is 9.5 almost, so she's going strong, and I think she'll be here a little whiles after 10. So this is the part where I kind of want to talk about Makayla's understanding in the world. I get a lot of comments about, oh my goodness, really? You want to say something? Yeah. So I get a lot of comments about Makayla feeling a certain way or being excluded in family activities and how she feels about that. And I'm just gonna read a couple things, basically definitions that I want to put out there before I start talking about it. So the first one is emotional intelligence, and that is the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions. And then the second one is cognitive development, the construction of thought process, including remembering, problem solving, and decision making. So for Makayla, she does not have either of these things. That is part of the higher learning intelligence of the brain, those two layers that she is missing. She doesn't have the ability to process what's going on around her. Now, there are things that she does pick up on and recognize, like our voices, especially when we're talking about her or talking to her. She can tell the different tones in our voices when we're talking to her. Like, hi, Bubba Girls. What are you doing, Bubba Girls? Are you listening? Yeah, you're listening, aren't you? And you can kind of tell when she is listening. However, she can't process what we're saying. She does hear certain things, and that is one of the things about her physical development, is that she has perfect hearing and she can hear everything. She just doesn't process it well. Same with emotions. She does not process what we process. If we are crying, she will not see us and then cry because she feels that same emotion. She cries when she is hurt, and sometimes, not always. She's a tough chickie, so the main thing that she cries about is actually her hair being brushed, and it's the one thing that she hates and she freaks out about. But also things like touching her, she can feel that sensation and she might not like the feeling, so she'll kind of go and it'll shock her. But I wanted to mention the most important thing about Makayla is that she is not a 9-year-old girl in a body that can't move. She is an infant in a 9-year-old's body. So basically we have a child that is large, but she is an infant inside. So most of you know, as infants grow, they develop and they smile and that type of thing. They start to experience emotions, and for Makayla that did start happening. However, as the months went on, so there's this chart that our doctor showed us way back when. He's actually the head of the team at Sick Kids when we were diagnosed, and he showed us this chart. I just kind of drew it quickly because I couldn't find it online, but it's the learning development of children between the years 0 to 3. And 0 to 3 is when they do the absolute most learning in their lifetime. It is such a huge curve from 0 to 3, and you can see I kind of just drew it quickly, but from 0 to 3 you have this huge growth, and then once they hit 3 it kind of slows down, and even as you get older it will slow down even more. So within those 3 years a child is trying to learn so much. So for Makayla, when she started to hit that point where her body and her brain wanted to grow crazy amounts, she would start to have seizures, and that was at age 4 months. And that's what we mean by she was completely normal when she was born. Obviously she was not completely normal. She was born with her disorder. That's what we mean, is that within that first couple months your brain is not quite at that exponential growth rate, and it appears to be that she is learning just as a normal child. However, when she hit that 4-month mark and she started having seizures, that's when everything digressed and she went backwards. She no longer could sit or roll or those type of things, which is completely fine by us now, of course. But at the time, it was completely terrifying. So I did want to mention that because there are people out there that are concerned that it was a vaccine-related disorder, and this is not. This happens at 12 weeks gestation, and there's no possible way that at the time we could detect this condition. They did not do the same tests they do nowadays. When I was pregnant with her, we had our main ultrasound when I first found out I was pregnant, and the one that kind of detects like Down syndrome and certain things they can detect from the ultrasound. However, they didn't have the actual like genetic testing that they do by blood sample from the mother nowadays. So we had no possible way of knowing until the day that she had seizures. And even the day that she had seizures, we knew she was having seizures, but we didn't know why. Not until we went to Sick Kids and they did the MRI to find her brain abnormalities. So I think that's pretty much it. I really wanted to do this video because I think there's some confusion out there about what her thought process is like. She definitely is just a content little girl. She likes hanging out on the couch. She likes being home. So when you see her not involved in activities, it's because we know she would rather be here on her couch, comfortable. And honestly, she doesn't really like being in her chair out in the weather and that type of thing. She burns easily, and it's not nice when it's cold out, so she's just chill, and we try and do as much as we possibly can with her, but it's also not practical to carry her up and down a cliff when we're going hiking. So I wanted to mention that, but she's good. Her learning development doesn't affect the way we see her. We still talk to her normally, obviously in a different type of voice, because that's just baby girls. We've always talked to her like that. We will always talk to her like that. There's people out there that, you know, say, why don't you talk to her like she's a 9-year-old girl? Well, because she's not. She's my little baby, and she will always be my little big baby. I hope this answered some of your questions. If it did, please give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already to see more videos with her. Let me know what videos you want to see with her. Because I feel like she's a boring kid. She just does this all day long. She just likes to hang out and go to sleep and eat, and that's about it. So let me know what you want to see, and I guess we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys. Bye beautifuls. Yeah. Say bye beautifuls. Beautiful girl. I love you. You're going to sleepy listening. Yeah. Go to sleepy listening. See, you can tell when she's listening to me. Because she was just about to go to sleep, and then as soon as I start talking to her, she perks up. Huh? Right? Yeah, you're listening to mommy. Huh? Are you listening to mommy? I love you. I know. I know. I know I'm bugging you, huh? Really? What is it? Really? Really? Really?
It was the cat's leash he was pulling out.
Apparently not.
And it was like endless string.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll untie it later.